Today I'll be showing you the easiest and the fastest way to multiply binomials. On the previous video, I've explained in simple terms how to understand and master multiplying monomials. I recommend you start with the previous video before this one. I'll leave the link in the description. Multiplying binomials can get even more difficult, can get even more confusing than monomials, since there are more things introduced and yet there are more things to remember. That's why today I'll be taking you step by step on how you can simply understand and master binomials. So let's take the first example. The first example, we'll take x plus 3, x plus 3. So the goal here is to have this x multiply this x and also multiply that 3. Same applies to this 3 here. The goal here is to have multiply the x there and multiply the 3 there. So we can write it this way. X, we know that it has to multiply x plus 3. This x has to multiply this here. The same way, the plus 3 there has to multiply x plus 3. In the same manner, this x here has to multiply the x plus 3 here. So this is how we can write it. So in this way, it's more of us taking it back to monomial. From here, we know we just multiply this one, just distribute this one here, and take this one there. So let's start simplifying it. It's x multiplied by x. So we know it's x to the power of 2. What's next? It's x multiplied by 3. So it's plus 3x. Then we come this side. We come this other side. So it's plus 3 multiplied by x. So we get plus 3x. Then it's plus 3 still multiplied by plus 3. Then we get a plus 9. One thing you have to remember here is the laws of exponent on this first part, that when you multiply the same bases, you add the exponents. But one thing that is new, that is introduced here, is that there's something called like terms. And we're talking about something like this. So what makes them alike is not the number, which is 3, but it's the x. Here, it's the x. It's not the number. You'll understand as we carry on to more examples. So in this case, it will be x squared, then plus 3x plus 3x. So this is more 3x plus 3x, and we know this will give us 6x, then plus 9. And this is our final answer. This is how we solve. It's how we solve the first example. Let's move to the next example. So here's the second example. How do we then go about this one? So firstly, this could be rewritten this way: x minus 4, x minus 4. It's because of the 2 here. It means you can expand this bracket 2 times. Then from here we know that it makes it simpler. You know that it's x has to multiply this x here, has to multiply the x there and the negative 4 there. Same applies with the negative 4 here, has to multiply the x there and the negative 4 there. So one way to write it is to say x, we know will multiply x minus 4, and you know the negative 4 will multiply x minus 4. And this is how we go. And from here, we say x multiply x, we say x multiply negative 4. That's how we go about it. So x multiplied by x, row number 1 of exponents, or row number 1 of exponents, you know, so we get x squared. Then x multiplied by negative 4 will give us negative 4x. Then negative 4x, this negative 4x here, multiplied by x, we'll get negative 4x. Then negative 4 multiplied by negative 4. So this is where something else has to be remembered. So in our case, we're multiplying a negative 4 and a negative 4. So signs are involved. So we know that when we multiply minus a negative and a negative, we should get a positive. So this is why you should remember how signs multiply and what do you get when you multiply positive and a negative sign, negative and a negative sign, and so on. So in this case, you have two negatives. So we know that when you multiply negative and a negative, we get a positive. So negative and a negative, we get positive. Then 4 times 4 now, it gives us 16. And we're not done. We have to remember that here we have like terms. We have like terms here. So what do we do here? X squared. So it's negative 4x, negative 4x. So what do we do here? This is more of adding them, because we take the sign of a bigger number, or we take the common sign, in which in this case it's negative, then we add the two numbers, which is 4x and 4x, so we get 8x plus 16. Then in this case, you cannot do anything, because whatever is left here, it's no longer like terms. This is how you leave it. This is our final answer. Now, let's move to the third question then. Let's say we're having something like x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 3. How do you deal with such a question? You can pause and try it. So our approach is the same. We know that this one, the x here, has to multiply the whole bracket, causing us to write it this way, or to write it this way, x multiply x minus 3. And we know that the plus 3 here is to multiply the whole bracket again, causing us again to write it this way, plus 3 x minus 3. Then from here we just distribute. Then we know that x multiply x, we get x squared. Then x multiply minus 3, x multiply minus 3, it's minus 3x. Then now we're here, it's plus 3 multiply x, plus 3 multiply x, we get plus 3x. Then now it's plus 3 multiply minus 3. So it's a fight between signs again. So it's plus 3 multiplied by minus 3. So what happens? We have a negative, we have a positive and a negative. What happens when you multiply a positive and a negative? The negative wins. So we'll come back with negative. It's a negative, then multiply 3 multiplied by 3, it's 9. So that's how we solve the ratio between them. Then carrying on, x squared, we have like terms here. So what do we do here? It's negative 3x plus 3x. So it's more minus 3 plus 3, which is more 3 minus 3. Then it will give us a 0. Then what we get now is minus 9. And this makes our final answer. This is our final answer. And now let's take the last question. Let's say you're given something like 2x plus 3y multiply 2x minus 3y. How do you deal with such a question? You can pause and try it. So with this question, our approach is still the same. We know that this part has to multiply this whole bracket, and we are aware still this part is to multiply this whole bracket again. So we can just write it in a way that we simply deal with it. So it's 2x in bracket 2x minus 3y plus 3y in bracket 2x minus 3y. Then from here you can just say, you can now start simplifying it by distributing the 2x here, multiply the 2x here, and the 2x still multiply the negative 3y there. So what we get as an answer is 2x multiply 2x. So it's 2 times 2, it's 4. And x multiplied by x, it's x squared. Then now it's 2x multiplied by negative 3y. So negative 2 2 times 3, you get 6. Then x times y, xy, nothing happens. Then now we move on to this part now. Move on to this part. These are green. Move on to this part. So it's 3x multiplied by 2x. So it's 3 times 2. It gives us 6. Now it's y times x. It's yx. But you're always advised to put it in alphabetical order. So in this case, it will be xy. Now moving on to 3x, 3y, I mean to say 3y multiply the negative 3y. So plus 3y multiply negative 3y. So what happens first? We deal with the signs, which is a positive and a negative. We know we get a negative. We get a negative. Then now we're multiplying 3 times 3. We know we get a 9. Now we're multiplying y times y. Now we know we get a y squared. And yet we're not done. We're not having like terms. We're not having like terms. Here are like terms here. So it's a minus 6y plus 6y. So this is more saying 6xy. No, 6xy minus 6xy. So what do we get? We get a 0. So meaning our answer here will be 6. Sorry, it's 4. Our answer will be 4x squared minus 9y squared. And this is our final answer. And that's all about today's video on multiplying binomials. Next video, I'll be showing you how to multiply trinomials. If you found value in this video, please subscribe and leave us a like for more math videos. See you in the next video.